Many years ago, a portal opened above Japan. This portal led to a dimension called Mado. Inside of this dimension were demonic beings and other mysteries that threatened humanity. That is when the world truly changed. Inside of the Mado dimension, there were special fruits called peach. This fruit, when consumed, gives the user special powers, but only the women get those powers. For some reason, men are not affected by the fruit, and they remain totally normal. Men in society were not that important, and the women started to become the leaders. They also formed anti-demon force units, special superpowered women that went inside of the Mado and fought demons. Now many years have passed and we are introduced to Yuki Wakura, a normal high school student with not a lot of talents. Yuki spends most of his time cleaning after his classmates and working on chores. He likes cleaning and cooking, but he does not know how to use those talents for his future. His friends often tease him and it's difficult for Yuki to stand out. Then one day everything changes for him. After school, we see Yuki walking back home and thinking about his bleak future when suddenly a mist appears. This mist takes him inside of the Mado dimension. Yuki right away starts to panic as he knows the danger of this dimension. Also, we learn that his sister went missing inside of the Mado years ago. Suddenly, Yuki spots several giant demons running after him. He tries to run, but they are too fast. Just as he is about to get eaten, suddenly a woman arrives and starts to slash the demons. Her name is Kyuka, and she is a leader of an anti-demon force. Kyuka tries to fight the demons, but soon realizes that there are too many of them. She puts on a force field to protect herself and Yuki. Then Kyuka tells Yuki that he has to become her slave, and then he will be given superpowers. Yuki thinks for a moment and then accepts. When the contract is created, Yuki activates his powers and transforms into a monster with great powers. The two of them team up and defeat all of the demons. After the battle is over, Yuki reverts back to his human form. That is when Kyuka gives him his reward, a steamy kiss. It seems that Kyuka is a perv and she loves kissing her slaves. Yuki decides to stay in the Mado and help Kyuka and the other demon hunters. He is introduced to the other girls from the unit, Nai, Shushu, and Himari Azuma. Yuki starts to work as a cleaner, housekeeper, and cook for the girls in the anti-demon unit. He works really hard and likes it. Still, some of the girls are very mean to him. They are not used to men being around them, so they treat Yuki as an outsider. In the meantime, Kyuka goes back to Earth, and she visits Yuki's school. Some of Yuki's friends are talking about him missing, but when Kyuka shows up, they are shocked. They are even more shocked to learn that Kyuka is now Yuki's master. Meanwhile, inside of the Mado, Yuki learns more about this demonic dimension. It is divided into 8 sections, and the demons appear all over the place. Yuki is even almost attacked by one demon while cleaning the outside of the house. The girls explain to Yuki that the demonic monsters can show up anywhere, anytime, and they have to be ready to fight. Later in the day, Yuki cooks up a delicious meal for the girls, and they all lose their minds for his food. Still, they tell them that if he fails them, he will be eliminated. After that, it's time for action. They all gear up and go hunt some demons. Yuki once again transforms into a giant wolf monster, and Kyuka rides on his back. Kyuka and Yuki work great as a team, and they take out a bunch of demons without a problem. After the battle, Yuki only gets some candy as a reward. This pisses him off as he really wants to kiss Kyuka again. Soon after, another demon uprising starts in a nearby location, and they go fight those hordes. The battle is intense, but they are able to push back the demon armies. After this battle, Kyuka gets horny again, and this time she and Yuki get even more crazy. When they all return home, it's time to relax a bit. Yuki spots some of the girls in the bathhouse, and he starts to get really excited. He is then caught on camera by one of the girls, and she decides to blackmail him so that he can be her slave as well. Yuki has not been here for a week, and he is already in massive trouble. Shushu is the demon hunter who is now blackmailing Yuki. She wants him to be her slave and clean her room all the time. Without any choice, Yuki accepts this and starts cleaning. Shushu has a very messy room, and she also loves to tease Yuki. After Yuki is done cleaning, he spots the other girls doing some training and getting ready for future demon attacks. Yuki once again has to spend time with Shushu and give her a massage. While he is massaging her, Yuki notices that she is pretty attractive. Shushu knows that she is hot, so she starts to make fun of Yuki even more. Later in the day, they play video games together. Shushu is just too good, and she beats Yuki in all their matches. Soon after, she decides to test out her powers on him. Shushu has consumed the peach fruit, and now she has the ability to change her size. She can grow, and with that comes other powers. Shushu starts to get bigger, and she jumps on Yuki. The wrestling match is abruptly ended when a giant demon appears in front of their base. Shushu then grows even bigger, so now she is also a giant. Yuki watches helplessly as Shushu goes to fight with the Titan demon. Shushu is pretty strong, but her powers are not enough to face a giant demon all by herself. She fights with everything she has, but soon she starts to get badly injured. Their base of operations starts to collapse from all the fighting. Meanwhile, Yuki is totally useless. He has no powers and he cannot transform without Kyuka. Then a brilliant idea comes to him. Maybe there is a way for him to help. Yuki goes inside and tries to find some of Kyuka's clothing items. He kisses her underwear and starts to transform, but only slightly. After he finds more of her clothes, he is able to transform his leg, but it's not enough. Soon enough, he finds her boots and he decides to lick them. That grants him enough power to fully transform. Now with his power, he joins the fight and with one insane punch takes out the giant demon. Yuki cannot hold his beast form for a long time, so he soon turns back. After the battle is over, Kyuka and the other girls return. Kyuka is angry at Yuki for transforming without her. Shushu, on the other hand, likes Yuki even more and wants to keep hanging out with him. He did save her life like a true hero. Kyuka and Yuki go back to the human world for a day and they decide to relax a bit. The gate to the meadow is stable, so they can go in and out. They go riding on the train together and Yuki is happy to have some free time with her. This is the first time he has seen Kyuka in causal clothes and he is taken aback by her beauty. After a few hours, they visit Kyuka's hometown. She puts down some flowers to honor the dead and she tells Yuki about what happened in her town. A giant demon appeared one day and just destroyed everything. The demon had one horn on its head and Kyuka never found it again. It is now her life's mission to find that demon and get revenge. Soon after, they have to return to the meadow since a nest of demons has been spotted. Yuki is excited about another mission with the girls. Meanwhile, we see a female villain. She rides on top of a one-horned demon and she seems to have some sort of connection with Yuki. She sensed when he entered the meadow dimension. Kyuka and Yuki rush to see what is happening with that demon nest. When they arrive, they spot a giant hole in the ground and many demons around it. It seems that something has brought the demons together. Yuki is now in his monster form and he leaps into battle, followed by Kyuka and the other girls. Using their excellent teamwork and powers, they are able to destroy the demon monster without any issue. Suddenly, another force joins the battle, the giant one-horned demon. Kyuka notices the demon right away. It is the one-horned demon that destroyed her home. Soon the group realizes that the one-horned demon is not alone. There is a woman riding on top of the monster. This woman seems to be half human and half monster. Kyuka wants to know what this woman is and why is she working for the demons. Meanwhile, Yuki and the other girls are fighting the demons. It seems that more of them are coming each second. Kyuka is too furious as she is only focused on the horned demon and this mysterious lady. The monster woman finally speaks, and with a giant grin, she explains that her main role is to destroy the anti-demon fighters. Kyuka demands to know what is the name of this lady that works with the demons, but she does not get a straight answer. While the others are holding off the demon hordes, Kyuka talks with this mysterious woman. She starts to explain why she is here, and the woman starts to talk about her brother. She mentions that long ago she had a brother that she loved very much and he promised to marry her in the future. Then as they got older, the brother was focused on other things such as housekeeping and cooking. If it's not obvious already, I think we all know that this crazy demon girl is probably Yuka's sister. The woman continues that as her brother grew up, he did not want to marry her anymore. She does not reveal anything else about her origins. Suddenly, another giant demon tries to attack Kyuka, but the woman uses her powers and crushes it. She then feeds the remains to her one-horned demon. Kyuka starts to theorize that maybe this lady is the leader of the demon armies. Kyuka starts to rage even more as the one-horned demon starts to power up. She cannot stand that the demon is still alive and she wants revenge. Yuki then appears and it seems that the demon lady notices him and it breaks her concentration. For some reason, she starts to panic and decides to fly off. Yuki still has no idea that this might be his sister. Kyuka is so consumed by revenge that she wants to chase after the one-horned demon and leave the others to fight alone. Yuki then screams at her to help and Kyuka is able to snap back to reality. She accepts that the one-horned demon has escaped and focuses on saving her friends. When Kyuka and Yuki return to base, she starts to get excited about him taking off her clothes. After they have another horny moment together, they talk about the situation with that demon lady. Yuki admits that he thinks this might be his sister, who went missing inside of the Mako long ago. Kyuka is very interested in what this demon person is planning since she has insane powers. She can consume the peach fruits and use multiple different powers. Also, it seems that the demons are changing their behavior because of that demonic lady. Soon after, the government leaders back in Japan got really upset about the entire situation. They realized that the demons are becoming more dangerous, so they have to change their approach. In the meantime, we see the demonic lady in her sanctuary. She is thinking about Yuki and hopes to spend her life with him inside of the meadow. It seems that she is totally lost her human side while being in that dimension. Yuki is taking a bath and thinking about his sister. He is sure that the demon lady is his missing sister. Still, he is scared of her and the one-horned demon, and he hopes to stop her in the future. Soon, the other girls join him in the bath and they create a lewd and horny moment for Yuki. Yuki cannot handle their behavior, so he runs out of the bathhouse. Soon after, a portal opens in their house and two women arrive. At first, Yuki thinks that they are the enemy, but he learns that they are actually leaders of other elite anti-demon units. The women are called Tenka Izumo and Yachigo Azuma. Tenka right away is interested in Yuki and starts to flirt with him. After their first meeting, they all sit down and talk. It seems that the government has issued new orders. Since the demons have started to evolve, the anti-demon warriors have to change their approach. Kyuka is not really a big fan of Tenka and others like her. Tenka likes to make fun of Kyuka and her unit, which she thinks is not up to the standard of other anti-demon units. Kyuka, on the other hand, comments right away that other demon hunters have gotten injured recently and are not doing that great in field battles unlike her unit. The two women dislike each other and they start an argument right away. Kyuka then comes up with a plan to have some sort of exhibition match inside of the Mado where all the other anti-demon units will fight and prove their strength. Tenka accepts the challenge and leaves soon after that. Himari Azuma, one of the girls in the anti-demon unit, decides that Yuki will become her personal slave. Yuki at first is not a big fan of this, but Himari explains that she wants to prove herself in the Mado games. That entire battle is very personal for Himari since her sister Yachio Azuma is going to be there, and she hates Himari. Himari explains to Yuki what the Mado exhibition games really are. All the anti-demon units gather and then fight to see who is the strongest unit. Also, if you enter the tournament, you can have one helper with you during a battle. Himari wants Yuki to be her helper and he accepts. They then decide to practice, so they go outside to hunt some demons. Soon Yuki learns about Himari and her power. She can copy abilities from other anti-demon hunters. Himari has decided to copy Kyuka's power, so now Yuki will become her slave. When they arrive to the desert, they are attacked by demons. Yuki becomes Himari's slave and transforms into the giant wolf beast. He is then able to take down the demons with no problem if the transformation does not last long. After the battle is over, Himari now has to give a reward to Yuki, and of course it's something lewd. Himari does not want to do anything horny with Yuki, but she has no choice, since that is part of the slave and master contract. Left with no choice, she jumps on Yuki's face. When the contract is completed, they return back to base. It's an awkward drive for Himari since she does not want to be intimate with anyone. When they return, Himari explains why she has to win against her sister. Her entire Azuma family is very famous for being elite demon hunters. Himari is treated like trash and her sister constantly shames her. For that reason, Himari wants to prove herself and win, but she needs Yuki to help her. Yuki realizes that he has to get stronger so that he can stop his evil sister in the future. They agree to train together and develop a finishing move for Yuki and his powers. Himari and Yuki begin their training, but first they have to talk about what powers Himari's sister has. It seems that her evil sister has special time-stopping powers. This could be very dangerous in battle since she can stop any attack coming her way. Himari explains that her sister has to do a special pose to start the time-stopping power. She can only do it a few times since it drains her a lot. This means that Yuki has to develop a finishing move that is fast enough to stop her before she can activate her power. Yuki turns into his beast form and they start to train this move. Himari teaches him how to punch faster and move his legs better. She really improves his speed and Yuki, and now do a really brutal punch in just a few moves. They then go out on the field to test it against demons. A giant demon appears and rushes at Yuki. Yuki then pulls off his finishing move and punches the demon so hard its chest explodes. Yuki and Himari continue training together as the Mado exhibition games approach. The girls are all relaxing while in the bath. They are talking about the Mado games and Himari is pretty nervous. She knows that she will have to face her sister Yachio in combat. Yachiko has insane time-stopping powers and Himari is not sure if she can match that level of power. The other girls offer their support to Himari and they all have faith in her skills. Finally, the day of the Mado games arrives. Yuki and all the other girls are there and their opponents are ready to start. Yuki is hyped up as he will be part of the first battle. Himari tells Yachio that Yuki will be helping her in the fight and Yachio accepts this. She is very confident and she does not think her sister stands a chance. The battle between sisters finally begins. Yuki is now in his beast mode and he is ready to go all out. Yachiko is confident and she leaps into the fight. Yuki is able to pull out his finisher and with one punch he knocks out Yachiko. Yachiko then uses her time to revert powers. Now time reverts back 5 seconds and Yachiko is able to dodge that powerful punch from Yuki. The battle between Himari and Yachiko is now underway and it's already getting crazy. Yuki and Himari are using all of their powers to match Yachiko and try to damage her. The big problem is Yachiko's time reverts powers. She reverts time every time she is attacked and damaged. Yuki is really fast and is able to damage her several times, but she always uses her time powers. Himari and Yuki leap into the air and deliver a devastating blow to Yachiko, but after she turns back time, she plans to shoot at them with her gun. Yachiko is surprised when Yuki and Himari expect her to move and dodge it. It seems that Himari realizes every time her sister Yachiko uses her time to revert powers. Himari was training for this fight for a long time and she knows how to find weakness in Yachiko's power. It seems that every time Yachiko uses her time powers, she gets tired and out of breath. Now Himari uses this and she and Yuki switch their positions every time. After several great attacks, Yachiko starts to get really pissed off. She then rages and starts to use her powers to the max. This creates a giant time skip and she is able to injure both Yuki and Himari. Yachiho laughs as both of her enemies are on the ground injured. In the meantime, we see a strange group of demons in the distance. They are watching the Meadow Games and trying to determine how strong their enemies are. Yuki and Himari are now on the ground and they are really injured. Yachiho starts to gloat and make fun of her sister. She tells Himari that she will never be on her level and that she is an embarrassment to their clan. Himari can barely stand and she starts to give up. At that moment, Yuki starts to motivate her. He is still ready to fight and she cannot give up just yet. Yuki mentions that Yachiho is now really tired since she used her powers several times and they still have a chance to win this match. Himari decides to not give up and with Yuki, she prepares for one final charge. Yachiho is surprised that her sister is still able to stand. Yuki and Himari leap into battle and like always Yachiho launches her timed revert powers. This time Himari releases Yuki from their slave contract which creates an explosion. Yachiho for a moment cannot see anything and this gives Yuki a chance to hit her straight in the jaw. The match is finished and Yachiho has been knocked out. Yuki, Himari, and the other girls on their team are super happy. Yachiho finally gets up and she invites her sister back to their family clan. Himari rejects the offer as she belongs with her friends. The leader of the enemy team is very impressed with Yuki and his powers. He is not only strong, but he can use smart tactics during a battle. Himari and Yuki go back to their rooms to rest. Himari is very grateful that Yuki helped her, so she starts to kiss him with a lot of passion. Even Yuki is surprised by this, but he loves her lips, so he just lets go. At first, he thinks Himari is just kissing him as a reward for their slave contract, but Himari explains that she really wants to thank him. Shushu overhears them kissing out and she gets really jealous. She really wants to date Yuki and make him her slave. Shushu never knew that Kyuka had a passionate romance going with Yuki, and now Himari is also in the mix. Shushu wants to prove herself and gain Yuki as her boyfriend. Moments later, the second fight of the Meadow Games begins. This time it's Shushu against a girl with insane wrestling powers. Before the fight starts, Shushu promises to win for Yuki so that he can reward her later. Yuki is a bit confused by her advances, but still wants her to win. Kyuka is a bit worried about this round. This girl is very powerful and Shushu might get surprised during their fight. Shushu runs straight into the battle and her enemy starts to use insane wrestling moves to pin her down. The girl with the crazy wrestling move is called Sahara, and while she looks innocent most of the time, she's a very dangerous fighter who uses a power called Crazy Sheep. His power gives her body ultimate strength for a minute. In that minute, she cannot be destroyed as her body becomes pure power. Shushu thinks she can fight against Sahara, so she uses her giant form to finish the fight fast. Sahara activates her power and she takes no damage. Kyuka is worried that Shushu might be going too hard too fast. Shushu keeps hitting Sahara, but none of her powerful strikes does any damage. Yuki is so impressed with the power of both girls that he realizes that he has to train a lot more to stay on their level. Finally, Shushu pushes her powers to the limit. Her form goes beyond giant. Shushu then decides to jump on Sahara. This attack creates a giant explosion as Sahara is crushed. Sahara is able to hold out, but then the second phase of her powers begins. In this phase, Sahara falls asleep and her powers take over. She is basically a machine that cannot stop. Shushu is now in trouble as Sahara jumps on her and hits her with a powerful attack. Moments later, Shushu is now knocked out and Sahara has won the match. To add to the embarrassment, Shushu has lost part of her outfit, exposing her chest. This is really embarrassing for her as she feels like a loser in front of Yuki, whom she wanted to impress. The others take Shushu to recover and Yuki joins her to offer some support. Suddenly, one of the girls there notices some evil is nearby. She sees a vision of an evil demon telling her that war is coming. Shushu is now in her room and she is emotional. Yuki is in front of her door and tries to tell her she did great in her fight. Shushu explains that she did not want to embarrass herself, but she could not win. Yuki tells her that she is impressive and that she has nothing to be ashamed of. Shushu then tells Yuki to close his eyes and moments later kisses him. Yuki is surprised by this, but he is happy. Still, their moment of romance does not last long. The demons have started to attack and everyone is in trouble. The Meadow Games are over as the dangerous demons have come to take them all down. Shushu and Yuki join the fight and start taking down the demons. Kyuka comes up with a brilliant idea to defeat one of the more powerful demons. Himari and Kyuka both have a slave contract with Yuki, and if they combine their powers, they can give Yuki a power boost. They join hands and transform Yuki into a war cloud monster. This is an evolved version of his usual beast mode. Now in this form, Yuki can fight the strongest demons and he goes crazy in battle. He starts to fight the giant demon and he is able to hold his own. The other girls are getting overwhelmed by the other demons. The demons seem to be more crazy than ever and their powers were growing. While everyone loses hope, we see Kyuka shine as the leader and the main fighter. She picks up her katana and starts to slice up the enemies with no problem. She holds back many demons with only her sword and manages to defeat many of them. In the meantime, Yachigo fights the main demon that is attacking everyone. She tries to use her max amount power, but it does not do much damage at all. This particular demon seems to be ultra powerful and no attack can damage him. Yachiko gets badly injured in the battle, and she can no longer defend herself. In that moment, her leader arrives and Tenka is ready to take down the main demon. The demon general is just furious and ready to destroy everything in its path. Tenka does not seem to be bothered at all as she enters the battle. For her, this does not seem to be challenging at all. The demon general is actually surprised by this. Tenka tells him that the battle is already over. He just does not know it yet. The demon general throws a giant power ball at Tenka, but she is able to survive it with no damage to her body. The other girls are hyped up to see Tenka finally unleash her power as she fights the demon general. Finally, Tenka decides to end the battle, so using her power, she creates a giant black hole and tears the demon in half. The battle is over and the demons are now running away. Tenka has managed to help the other anti-demon girls, so she bids farewell to everyone. Yuki is super tired from the battle, but he is happy that they won. The girls all start to strip as they are injured from the fight. Hyuka and Himari now have to fulfill part of their contract, and they have to do lewd stuff with Yuki. Yuki is losing his mind since now he can hook up with two of the hottest girls at the same time. Hyuka presents her chest to Yuki, and he almost starts to bleed from the nose. Yuki then goes to wash up, and Himari and Hyuka join him. They are totally naked, and Yuki loves it. Soon after that, we learn more about the demonic villains. Their leader seems to be called Shikoku, and she leads a group of demonic warriors. They are all worried about their future, and the demon general does not want to interact with humans anymore. Shikoku seems to be very interested in Yuki, and the other girls. She wants to examine humans closely. After a few hours, Yuki goes to sleep. It has been a hard few days, and he deserves some rest. While Yuki sleeps, Tenka shows up in his room. It's unclear what she is planning to do with him, but it's obvious she has some interest. In previous interactions, they had Tenka always seem impressed by him being a great slave and servant to the other girls. Yuki and his girls arrive to meet with Tenka and her team. They explore their training camp and their houses. Yuki starts to wander around trying to find out more about these girls. He finds old photos of Yachiho and her sister Himari. Soon after, he ends up in Yachiho's room but runs out before someone can notice him. Yuki then runs into Sahara, who is sleeping on the bed. He tries to wake her up, but using her legs, she grabs him. Sahara often does wild things while she sleeps, and she is very strong. Yuki has no choice but to let her play with him like a doll while she sleeps. After that, he meets up with Himari. They go to the gym, and there they spot Yachio, who is training hard. Yachio seems to be pushing herself more and more as she wants to become even stronger. Sahara comments that Yachio just wants to keep up with her sisters, and that is why she pushes herself this bad. Himari realizes that she and her sister are not so different, and they start to mend their relationship a bit. While that is happening, Kyuka has a meeting with Tenka. Tenka wants to talk about something very important to her. She wants to take Yuki as her own slave. Kyuka is shocked by this and does not know how to respond. Tenka goes on to explain that she has gotten bored with her life. She is ultra powerful and she does not have any relationships. Most of her days are spent fighting demons alone and then returning home alone. She wants Yuki as her slave since he seems very nice and interesting. Basically, she needs a boy toy. Kyuka does not accept this offer. She will not let Yuki be a slave, just anyone. Tenka is surprised by this, but she then asks Kyuka if she can pursue Yuki in their personal time like casual dating. Kyuka cannot stop her from that, so she tells her to do whatever she wants. Tenka gets excited and starts to plan her first meeting with Yuki. When Yuki finds this out, he is really surprised. He cannot believe that someone like Tenka would have a crush on him. When he goes to sleep, he cannot stop thinking about her. She is older and more mature and also very beautiful. Still, Yuki is not interested in just being a toy for some woman. He wants to become a hero and prove himself in battle. A couple of moments later, Tenka shows up in Yuki's room. He is shocked and does not know how to react. Tenka starts to flirt with him right away. She's wearing a very attractive outfit and she sits on his bed. Yuki is very nervous, but Tenka keeps flirting until she starts to kiss his neck. Yuki tries to resist, but it feels so good. Tenka and Yuki start to kiss with a lot of passion, but Tenka does not want it to just end on kissing. She wants more. Tenka starts to undress Yuki, even if he tries to fight her. Yuki finally submits and allows Tenka to do whatever she wants. She even uses her powers to burn off his clothes. Yuki is totally lost in the sauce and cannot resist Tenka. She, on the other hand, is like a crazy animal, and she wants Yuki all for herself. Suddenly, Sheshu arrives and there are reports of a giant demon attack. Sheshu cannot believe that everyone is having lewd moments with Yuki except for her. Yuki goes to see what is happening and he sees Kyuka there. It seems that a brand new demon is attacking their base. This demon looks like a combination of various demon bodies. Kyuka jumps on her slave and Yuki transforms into his beast mode. They got to battle and in one blow they defeated the demon. We learn that the demon was created by the demon leader and she is testing the heroes. She wants to create a perfect demon for them to fight. Tenka, on the other hand, is even more interested in Yuki after seeing him fight the other demons. She wants to spend more time alone with him in the future. We see a flashback where Tenka and Kyuka have coffee together. They talk about operations and they're working together. Finally, while Kyuka dislikes Tenka, they agree that their anti-demon units would work together on harder missions. Now in the present, we see Kyuka training with Yuki and the other girls. We are introduced to Nae. She's the youngest girl in the unit, and she is very cute. Nae is basically everyone's little sister, and she has certain powers that Kyuka wants to test on Yuki. While it is very challenging for Kyuka, she wants to test Yuki with the other girls. She has to use a lot of her power to give her slave to the others, but Yuki can become much stronger. Nae tries to become his owner, and he is able to unlock a new beast form. Then Shushu does the same, and Yuki evolves even more, but his form does not last long. After training is over, we spend more time with Nae. She goes to an elementary school back in Japan, and Yuki decides to help her. To arrive to this elementary school, she must pass through a portal to go back to the human world. Yuki follows her and they go back to Japan. This is nice for Yuki as he can relax for a bit and not think about demon hunting. Nae and Yuki talk about their lives, and Nae shares some secrets about her origins. She is looking for her mother and father who went missing one day for no reason. Nae always knew that they got lost inside of the demon dimension, but she has never been able to find them. Yuki realizes that he is not the only one who just lost his relatives in this dimension. The same happened to his sister who suddenly went missing in the demon dimension. After Nae is done with school, she and Yuki return back to the demon dimension. They have some fun while washing the dishes, while Shushu looks at them with jealousy. She wants to spend time with Yuki, and it seems that he is always busy with some other girl. Yuki and Kyuka continue fighting demons and training in the meantime. Yuki really wants to become stronger. He wants to develop his powers to a level where he can protect Kyuka, no problem. We see the two of them in a field fighting several demons. Yuki is in his beast form, and he seems to have gotten much better in these fights. He can even fight demons that are hiding under the ground. After the battle is over, Yuki carries Kyuka in his arms as he wants to help her. Kyuka feels emotional, so she kisses him. When they return back to base, the girls want to find out more about Yuki and his origins. He explains that he had his sister who trained him since he was a small kid. She was his older sister. Her name was Oba. Oba cared for Yuki very much, and while she teased him all the time, she also wanted him to learn how to defend himself. Whenever Yuki got into trouble with the school bullies, Oba was there to protect him. She was brutal and strong. Oba was very kind, and she meant a lot to Yuki. That all changed the day she vanished, never to be seen again. Now Yuki is certain that she is the demon lady he has seen in the field. Some of the anti-demon hunters run into a powerful demon called Coco, who has set up a trap for them. Coco starts to fight Shushu and Himari, and her power is insane. She has Himari in her shield, and with one punch almost breaks it with zero issues. Then the other girls join in and try to stop Coco. Coco is just having fun with them and flexing her insane powers. Kyuka and Yuki get the call to go help the other girls. Yuki was actually looking at himself in the mirror. His body has developed and he was feeling pretty proud. Still, he has no time for that, and he has to run to help the others while they fight and hold off Coco. When they finally arrive, Yuki realizes that this was a trap for him all along. He spots the demon lady. He thinks it's his sister Oba. Kyuka and Yuki get separated as he is captured and transported to a totally different location. After a few hours, Yuki wakes up and now Coco is on his body and she's licking him all over. The other demon lady, who might be his sister, is also there. Yuki has no idea what is happening or where he is. Still, it seems that the demons are equally horny, just like the girls from the anti-demon force. Not only is the demon known as Coco jumping all over Yuki, but there is another hot demon girl all over him. Coco is for some reason licking his feet, and Yuki has no way to escape from this weird situation. Soon the lead demon lady arrives, and finally Yuki confirms what he always knew, that the demon lady is his sister Oba. Yuki is super happy to see his sister even in her new form. Oba jumps on Yuki and hugs him. She has missed him for a long time. Oba explains that she sensed him as soon as he entered the Mado dimension. Yuki wants to know more about this place, and Oba decides to give him the grand tour. It seems that Oba, with the rest of her people, lives underground in a hidden village. This place is removed from the outside world, and they have peace there. There is even humans living with them and half-human demons. Yuki learns more about this place, and he learns also that the other hot demon girl that was all over him is called Naon Yuno. Naon and Coco seem to work with Oba, and they are a team. Oba starts to explain to Yuki their situation and the plan they have for the other anti-demon hunters. Yuki tries to reason with them. He tells Oba that the anti-demon hunters are actually nice people and his friends. The moment he says this, the mood changes as his sister and her friends become angry at him. It's obvious that they hate the demon hunters, and Yuki realizes that this is a dangerous situation for him. Yuki tries to calm down the girls, and Oba is able to forgive him. She is playful with her brother and hugs him. She then introduces him to her demon pets. One of them is the one-horned demon that destroyed Kyuka's home. Oba and her friends plan to attack and end the demon hunters, no matter what Yuki says. Yuki realizes that he has no choice but to stay. Oba wants him to remain by her side forever, and he does not know how to reject her. We also learn more about the fruit process that happens when women consume that special item from the Mado dimension. Basically, at a certain age, a woman can request to eat one of those fruits in hopes of her powers activating. It seems that some of them can even turn into demons. Yuki gets used to being in the hidden village. He finds out that the girls all have demon bodies, but Oba is certain that they have human souls. Moments later, he spends some time with Naon and Coco, and he cannot keep his hands off them. They are very attractive. In the meantime, we see that Kyuka and the other anti-demon hunters are preparing to go out and find Yuki. Their primary goal is to bring him back safe and sound. Naon wants to tell Yuki her story so they can understand their situation. In the past, she was a model, a very beautiful woman who had everything. Naon did not want to consume the fruit from the Mado dimension, and she just wanted to be young and free. Then one day she was consumed by the Mado dimension, and she was transported into the demon realm. There Naon had no defense against the demons, and she was attacked by many of them. She was barely able to escape, but soon the demons found her. With no other option, she decided to consume one of the fruits in hopes of getting some sort of power. The moment she ate the fruit, a giant explosion destroyed all the demons. For a moment, it seemed that all was good. Naon got her powers, and now she was safe. Turns out none of that was true, and this is where her life ended. Naon woke up in a temple where the anti-demon leaders were. They explained to her that now her body was changing and becoming demonic. Basically, rarely the fruits from the Mado dimension can turn a person into a demon themselves. Naon was left to be tortured and experimented on for a long time. Coco also had a tragic story where she barely retained her humanity after she started to change into a demon. After the others tell their stories, Oba once again explains to Yuki why they need to protect themselves. Yuki finally understands his sister and what she is doing. In the meantime, Kyuka and her unit have arrived at the mountain pass where the hidden village is located. Kyuka and her crew are attacked by a bunch of demons that protect the hidden village. With the help of Tenka, they are able to defeat all the demons without any problem. Finally, the anti-demon unit is able to break inside and find the hidden village. They are soon attacked by Coco and the other elite demons. Yuki realizes that he has to stop this conflict before it can escalate. Oba is able to calm herself down when Yuki stops her from fighting. He then explains everything to Kyuka, and he tells her the situation these demons have faced in their lives. Kyuka is still not willing to stand down, and so is Oba. Then just as they are all calming down, Tenka arrives. Oba wants to know who Tenka is, and she introduces herself as Yuki's girlfriend. This pisses off Oba, who is now ready to destroy all of them. Oba is now done talking, and she is ready to fight both Kyuka and Tenka at the same time. Once again, Yuki tries to calm her down, but she ties him up and throws him away. Oba warns her brother to not get involved as this will turn messy, and she does not want him to get hurt. Kyuka is worried about this fight as it seems Oba is very powerful, maybe even stronger than her and Tenka. Oba then goes on to explain that they have a demon friend on their team who can cure their curses, but only for a moment. This demon girl does her magic, and for a moment, all the girls are back to their human selves. This does not last long, and they are once more cursed in their demon bodies. Oba explains that she will find a way to upgrade the powers of her demon friends, and then they will all be cured. Kyuka and Tenka are still facing her, and they want to stop her. Oba is pissed off, especially at Tenk, and she wants to end this fight as soon as possible. In the meantime, we see that Sahara and Shushu are facing off against Coco. Sahara uses her powers, but Coco is very strong. Shushu goes into her giant mode and tries to take down Coco as fast as possible. Coco starts to flex her powers and make fun of both Sahara and Shushu. She also tells them that she is a horrible match up for them since her powers are perfect to counter their own powers. Coco has various powers, and one of them is being super slippery. This causes any major attacks to bounce right off her. Still, Sahara and Shushu do not want to give up, and they keep attacking Coco with everything they have. Coco is super strong and very fast, but the girls are able to keep up with her. Coco then summons one other large demon to help her. It's a beast with great powers. Sahara and Shushu realize that they have to combine their attacks to finally finish this fight. They all power up to the max, and while using her giant mode, Shushu is able to crush the demon beast while Sahara hits Coco with a powerful blast. While Sahara and Shushu are fighting Coco, we see that Hamaki and her sister Yashiko are fighting other dangerous demons in the hidden village. They are also facing against Naon, and she is able to move in and out of objects, and that way she can deal a surprise attack at all times. During the battle, Yashiko is able to use her time stop power a lot so that they can prevent the demons from attacking them. Still, it's very hard to predict where Naon will attack from, and that makes this fight horrible for both of the sisters. When Yashiko gets injured, it's time for Hamaki to step up. Also, Yashiko wants to protect her younger sister, no matter what, so she tries to fight back with all her powers and finish the fight as fast as possible. Yashiko and Himari are now stuck on the small rock as Naon keeps firing spears at them. The battle is becoming too crazy and the sisters are badly injured. Himari tries to take control of the fight as Yashiko is tired of using her time stop power. Himari and Yashiko decide to take a defensive position. They are close to each other and are trying to cover all areas of the battlefield. Naon is moving fast and she keeps attacking without any mercy. Finally, Himari decides to prove her power. She remembers all the training she did with Yuki and Kyuka. She decides to impress her sister with a very insane mover where she pulls out 100 guns at the same time. Himari starts to fire all around the cave and everything starts to fall apart around them. Yashik is very impressed and she is able to use her time powers to finally finish Naon. Now that the sisters have won the fight, it's time to rejoin the others and help them. We see that Shushu is now in her giant form fighting another large demon. Coco was on the ground and her body is broken from the damage. Still, she is slowly healing herself and becoming stronger. In the meantime, we see that Oba is fighting both Kyuka and Tenka. Yuki is still tied up, but the fight between the girls is insane. Oba has so much power that she is able to hold off both of these anti-demon hunters. She even summons the one-horned demon and it attacks Kyuka directly. Kyuka is using her trusty sword in battle and she tries to remain calm. Even if she is obsessed with her revenge against the one-horned demon, she has to remain calm and cool. Tenka, on the other hand, is impressed with the power that Oba has but is also having fun while fighting her. Oba keeps powering up and losing control. She does not want anyone taking her brother from her, and she also does not want these demon hunters to ruin her grand plan. She starts to rage and power up even more. The entire hidden village is now in danger of being destroyed because of these insane battles. Oba starts to attack both Tenka and Kyuka with everything she has. There are fireballs and blasts all over the place. Her attacks are just gaining more power and more speed in each second. Kyuka is fighting the one-horned demon at the same time. Tenka then goes on the offensive trying to stop Oba and finally end her attacks. Oba counters with her own powerful blasts. Yuki is helpless on the ground as he cannot enter the fight and try to stop it from happening. Tenka finally decides to deliver her finishing move and try to stop Oba. She counters Oba's blast and goes for her ultimate attack. In the final moment, she sees an opening for a final flash attack. Suddenly, in the final second, Tenka remembers how much Yuki loves his sister. She charges up her blast and hits Oba. After a giant flash of light, it seems the fight is finally over. Yuki then notices that Tenka is also badly injured. It seems that Oba's blast hit her, and she did not go full force on her attack. Tenka falls to the ground, no longer moving. Yuki is heartbroken as he thinks he lost a friend. Tenka is now on the ground bleeding, but she is not dead yet. Yuki tries to call her out so that she gets up, but there is no more strength in her body. Oba also arrives, and while she is injured, her body is already healing. Oba noticed that Tenka pulled back on her final blast, and she wanted to know why. Tenka then reveals that Yuki loves Oba very much, and she did not want to take her away from Yuki. Oba is impressed that Tenka is so kind and actually spared her life. Tenka calls Oba her sister, and she imagines their life together. Tenka really wants to marry Yuki in her fantasy and have kids with him. Oba does not like when someone calls her sister, so she gets angry. At that moment, Kyuka arrives, and so does Coco and the others. Coco thinks it would be best if Oba and the others ran and returned to finish this fight another day. Yuki is finally free from his constraints and he wants the fighting to stop. Kyuka wants to talk with Oba and reason with her, but Oba is not in the mood. Suddenly, a giant boom is heard and we see several powerful demons coming from the sky above. They introduce themselves as the 8 gods of thunder, beings who control the demons and create them. In that moment, everyone is shocked. Even Oba is afraid of these beings. It seems she is not working with them or for them. Shikoku is the leader of the 8 gods of thunder. She looks like a woman in all black and there are black snakes all around her body. Shikoku seems to enjoy the suffering of humans and she tells all the anti-demon hunters that she is their end and final destruction. We are also introduced to the other members of this dangerous group, a giant woman called Juryu that has superpowered punches. Oba, Kyuka, and the rest of the girls all attack at the same time. Shikoku sends in Juryu to handle all of them. Juryu in one strike destroys everyone. Her hitting the ground just once creates a giant explosion that injures everyone. Oba is then attacked by Juryu and she starts to torture her. Oba is being broken down. Shikoku then uses her black snakes to trap and attack everyone at the same time. Her power is so insane that nobody can even start to stop her attacks. Coco and Naon attack Juryu in the hopes of saving their leader Oba, but that does not work at all. They are both knocked out and badly injured. Yuki slowly gets up in that moment and realizes that all of his friends are in massive danger, and now it's his moment to step up. Kyuka then shows up and offers to help Yuki in this insane fight. Kyuka and Yuki team up once again and power up for the showdown. In that moment, the one-horned demon shows up. Juryu is bored with this fighting and she decides to leave while Shikoku remains to see what the humans will pull off. Kyuka remembers her childhood and how nice it was. Everyone in her village was a nice person and there was peace and laughs all the time. Then the one-horned demon showed up. He tore through the village like it was nothing and he destroyed everything and everyone. From that moment on, Kyuka focused her mind and body on getting stronger and finally getting her revenge. Now is that moment as she and Yuki ride into battle. Yuki is now in a fully powered state and Kyuka is laser-focused. Her Sora is moving on its own as she attacks the one-horned demon. Yuki is able to throw a good few punches at the demon, but Kyuka is the one to deliver the finishing blow. She puts all of her power behind her slashes and she just keeps hitting the one-horned demon. She does not miss once and soon the monster is cut up into a million little pieces. Finally, Kyuka stands as the demon is destroyed and she is at peace. Finally, she has gotten her revenge and the people from her village can now find peace. She honors them by doing this final task for their memory. The battle is finally over as the one-horned demon lies in pieces. Yuki is so proud of Kyuka and he tells her that she is awesome. Kyuka is still focused on the fight and she tells him that maybe there are other dangerous enemies around. In that moment, both Kyuka and Yuki realize that the 8 gods of thunder have gone away without a trace, and they have also kidnapped Koko and Maon for some reason. While Shikoku flies away, she notes that Yuki is a very interesting human and she wants to know where his story goes from here. All the girls are badly injured and will need some time to heal from this insane battle. Still, Yuki is happy that they are all alive. Oba soon appears and explains that Koko and Maon have been kidnapped by Shikoku and her demons. Oba will no longer fight the anti-demon hunters. She will fight Shikoku, and she will get back Maon and Koko no matter what. Kyuka wants to know what happens next with all of this. Tenka then joins the conversation. It seems that while she is injured, she still knows more about this situation than the rest of the girls. She explains that the demon hunter commander must have been involved with this plot all along and that she is also corrupt. They all realize that they have been hunting not just evil demons, but demons who are good and kind, some are even half-human. Kyuka realizes that the only way she can change things is if she becomes the leader of the entire demon hunter organization. Until then, Aoba must stay safe and protected from the other hunters. Aoba explains that there are other hidden villages and she will help them train and become stronger. Yuki then realizes that he has a really big mission up ahead and he will do anything he needs to cure and save his sister. Aoba hugs Yuki and tells him that she will always watch over him. Yuki and his friends now have a new goal and they will stop at nothing to bring peace to humans and demons alike.